Hey there YouTube, this is Vargas XX78 with another collection pickup video. Just wanted to share with you guys the comic books that were waiting for me at the comic book store for this last month and 1 week. Not a lot of books came out, a lot of really awesome stuff, but not a lot of books. Mostly because some series like Uncanny Avengers ended and Wolverine's done with the whole death of Wolverine, and I'm also dropping a few titles. So not as many books as I usually get, but still what I got I think is pretty awesome, so I just wanted to share it with you guys. So first off, we'll start off with The Amazing Spider-Man issue 9, continuing the Spider-Verse event that Marvel's doing for Spider-Man. The main story is Peter Parker and the new Miss Marvel team up, but also May Parker, the daughter of Spider-Man, encounters one of the Morloons, and yeah, this doesn't go very well. She has to escape along with the other universe Spider-Man, and she vows revenge against the Morloon that killed her family. So yeah, this was a good issue, and it continues in The Amazing Spider-Man issue 9, which is full-blown Spider-Verse. Spider-Man, Peter Parker, meets up with the other Spider-Man who warned him of the threat. And he meets up with Scarlet Spider, he meets up with Ben Reilly, he meets up with Spider-Man 2099. So this whole thing seems to be a big event that's going to happen with every single... Marvel promises every single Spider-Man ever known, plus a few surprises, because you got Spider-Pig, and a whole bunch of other Spider-Man. I wasn't going to pick this one up. I thought it would be tied into this, but I picked up Spider-Verse issue 1. Again, thinking this would be like a mini-series and then everything would bleed out in the other Spider-Man books, but no, it's actually not. It's actually just 6 mini-stories related to a character in the Spider-Verse. You have Mangaverse Spider-Man, which I was actually glad to see him, and a couple of others. But really, this just tells 6 mini-stories of the Spider-Verse universe. Really has nothing to do with that, except that it's based on a name and it has alternate realities. But again, I'm at the same time, I'm a sucker for what-if stories, so I like what-if stories. I'm a little torn that they made such a big event over this, because Marvel's already has their big event, which is Axis. So to bleed people to buying Axis, and then those tie-ins, and then Spider-Man having the Spider-Verse and their tie-ins seems a bit too much. But I don't know. Like I said, I'm a big sucker for what-if stories, so seeing all these alternate versions of Spider-Man is kind of cool, but at the same time it feels like a cash grab, so I don't know. Picked up Avengers issue 37, where Captain America and S.H.I.E.L.D. are hunting down the Illuminati because they're because of everything they did over in New Avengers, which is a book I don't read, so I'm kind of lost in what exactly is going on here. But yeah, this series is going to end with issue 44. So yeah, it's only like 7 issues more, and this series will be done. Picking up Axis because I might have mentioned this before. I really like the Onslaught character, and I think it's interesting that the science behind it still doesn't make a lick of sense. But when the Red Skull took part of Professor Xavier's brain and got telepathy, that gave birth to a red Onslaught creature, which was destroying the island of Genosha. So the superheroes are trying to team up to take the red Onslaught down. This is to issue 3. Magneto brings along a team of villains to try to help the heroes to take down the red Onslaught. And they do so, but what their plan is, because they still think there might be something left of Professor Xavier. So the Scarlet Witch is going to put a spell that inverts that, so that the Professor Xavier has more control over the body than the Red Skull. So basically, they do an inversion spell. Of course, that fails, and what ends up happening is that it stops the Red Skull, but it inverts everyone that was on the island. So everyone that was evil is good. Like, you got Carnage now stopping criminals because he's a good guy. And you got people that were good turn into evil, like the Falcon, who's the new Captain America, punches Nick Fury Jr., and the Hulk that was there, with the inversion, that gave birth to the Hulk's Hulk, which is Hulk spelled backwards, which I'm not even going to try to pronounce, but when the Hulk gets mad, it gives birth to this creature, which is just an even more insanely rampaging beast. And the X-Men also are fed up with people hating them, so Ethan, who was Kid Apocalypse, evolves into Apocalypse, and now the X-Men are following him in his survival of the fittest thing. So yeah, it seems interesting, and continues in issue 5, where Tony Stark is a jerk, and Magneto's trying to bring together whatever people he can to try to stop this, because everything's out of whack. So I don't know. I do think that this is too soon. We just ended the last event, which was Original Sin. And then to plop out this so fast, because it's a $3.99 book, and the books are almost pretty much coming out monthly, and I think it's going to be a 9-issue series. So yeah, it seems like a really big cash grab, but it is interesting. It has some interesting concepts, so I'll stick with it. Now, this is the book, the standout book of the haul. This is Batman issue 36. You can see, love the cover, because the Joker somehow took control of the Justice League. So you have a big Batman versus Superman fight here, and Superman's being controlled by the Joker, and he's taunting him. And also this issue is the return of the Joker. After death of the family, he kind of disappeared for a while. I'm not going to spoil it, but throughout the book, I can't really spoil it, so I guess I'm going to spoil it. Throughout the books, there's this character that's been helping Batman and working at Arkham Asylum and now Arkham Manor. Yeah, something big happens with that character that I didn't see coming, and yeah, definitely pick up this book. It's by far, so far, the best of the haul. Honestly, this book is amazing. I love what they're doing. Well, Snyder and Capullo are hitting it out of the park always, each month. But another Joker story, and in this large magnitude that I think it's going to be. I mean, the Joker pretty much took out the Justice League by sending them after Batman. So yeah, this is going to be pretty cool. I can't wait to see the rest of these issues. Another Batman book that's really awesome is Batman and Robin. Batman dons this suit that was created by the Justice League to go to Apocalypse and get Damian back. So yeah, they teased that in issue 36. I think I saw a cover where he's standing face to face with Darkseid. So that's gonna be pretty cool. And of course it's gonna showcase the return of Robin. I also read online that when Damian does come back, something's gonna happen in Apocalypse that's gonna give him superpowers. So yeah, that's gonna be interesting, I think. I also picked up Justice League 35, where Bruce Wayne is taking a tour of LexCorp, and Lex Luthor is showing him all his dangerous little toys that he's created. They also introduced Lena Luthor, who was a big... Well, she's been in and out of the universe, of the DC universe, for a while. Sometimes she's part of it, sometimes she's mentioned, but in the New 52, she's there. By the end of the issue, something happens that unleashes Lex Luthor's ultimate weapon, which is the Amazo virus. So, yeah, that's going to look interesting. Picked up Simpsons Comics, issue 215. Gotta love The Simpsons, and I really like the cover with Homer gorging on donuts. Really cool. Picked up Superman issue 35. This is the scheduling on this has been really weird. It hasn't come out as frequently as it used to, but which is weird because John Romita Jr. is a really good, really fast penciler. So I don't know what's going on there, but this story arc has been interesting. The new character that they introduced, whose name I just forgot, seems interesting. And at the end of the issue, he's fed up with, the evils of humanity. So he summons these ships to take people away from Earth and into a better place. So yeah, that didn't work out very well for that character. But they've also I've read that they're teasing Superman having new powers. It seems a bit too soon to start doing that with Superman. I mean, recently Superman just went through the Doom story arc where he became Doomsday, so it does seem a bit too soon to start messing with him again. But we'll see how that works out. I also picked up the last issue, Superman Unchained #9. This is the last issue of Superman Unchained. Been a while since this book was announced and it finally came out, but the artwork at least is pretty awesome. Scott Snyder's story ended kind of abruptly, but all in all, I can say that this series was at least well written and well drawn. And so, yeah, that ended. Another series that I'm loving is Swamp Thing. This is Swamp Thing issue 36, where Swamp Thing visits Abigail, and they have a really touching moment while at the same time fighting the machine. I'm calling it the Machine Empire, basically. The avatars of the machines. And yeah, this was a really, really good issue. I'm really loving what they're doing with Swamp Thing. Thankfully, I haven't heard anything that they're going to switch creative team or cancel it in any way. But yeah, I really, really dig Swamp Thing. And this is the Swamp Thing Annual, which deals with the Capuchin character, who apparently has lived for 1,000 years, and her 1,000 years are up. But she wanted to pass along a bit of information to Alec Holland. And in the end, Swamp Thing gives her a nice send-off. So, really, really good issue. Again, Swamp Thing and Batman so far have been really, really amazing. Speaking of amazing, picked up Amazing X-Men issue 12, which concludes the World War Wendigo story arc. The elemental heroes of the X-Men, Storm, Firestar, Iceman, and the rock guy whose name I forgot. They go through this metamorphosis in the astral plane, and so they essentially become avatars of the elements. Electricity, fire, ice, and the earth. So they take the fight to the Wendigo god and basically kick his ass, thus breaking the curse. So, really, really like this. I thought it was really cool. I was gonna drop Amazing X-Men, honestly, but they announced that they're gonna do the new story. The new story arc is gonna be about the Juggernaut. So, and the return of the Juggernaut. So that's gonna be cool. So I'm gonna stick with Amazing X-Men, which is okay because Uncanny Avengers got canceled during the Axis event. So that's all that. Picked up Uncanny X-Men issue 27. This is the one book that I'm kind of on the fence of should I drop or not. Basically, the X-Men, the whole team of X-Men, Wolverine's still alive in this, but the whole team of X-Men is trying to deal with this super powerful mutant that has arisen, and basically at the end of the issue, Scott Summers is going to have a talk with him, and it seems that the mutant might go on his team, which would really push the Uncanny X-Men team into very dangerous levels, because they already have the guy that can hijack is his name. He can hijack technology, so adding that guy to this new mutant into Scott Summers' team really raises the power levels on Uncanny X-Men. So, but I don't know, there's something about the writing that feels a bit off. I also picked up the last issue of Death of Wolverine. Marvel has been. I really like the foil covers though; those are pretty cool. Don't think it justifies the price tag of $4.99. Uh, Again, DC did their 3D covers for $3.99, so I don't know why Marvel feels like they can bleed people out for money with so many special events and expensive issues and so on. But this is the death of Wolverine. This is the end of the character. Uh, Honestly, after having read it, it didn't. It's like that saying that it didn't end with a bang, but with a whimper. Honestly, I am in the camp that I would have preferred Wolverine going out in a blaze of glory than what happened here. I'm gonna spoil it. This book came out a while ago. I just picked it up, but basically, Wolverine goes to Weapon X to fight Cornelius. Cornelius is still obsessed over Wolverine, and he wants to create the perfect soldier. And he has three people on slabs to be the new Wolverines, basically. He just needed Wolverine's healing factor, but because Wolverine doesn't have a healing factor anymore, Cornelius orders him killed. Which Wolverine stops the guy that pops up. He goes after Cornelius, but Cornelius starts the Wolverine making machine, so that the three people there are gonna get vivisect, and then the adamantium is gonna be pumped into them. So what Wolverine does in a very bizarre way, it's just really weird. Wolverine pops his claws, breaks the tank, and the tank again is filled with liquid, molten hot adamantium. So Wolverine slashes the tank, and then the adamantium falls on him, pretty much cooking him alive. It's actually pretty gruesome in the sense when you think about that Wolverine's pretty much cooking inside the melting hot adamantium. Somehow he staggers, but that stops the Wolverine people from being doused in adamantium. He staggers, reaches Cornelius. It's hinted that he stabbed him, thus killing him finally, because I think it's been 2 times since that's happened. But at the end, he shambles to the edge of the Weapon X compound, looks at the at the sunrise, I'm sorry, or sunset, closes his eyes and dies. Apparently dies. So all that's left of Wolverine is an adamantium statue, him kneeling down, and that's it. That's the end of Wolverine. Again, not the big spectacle I would have preferred for a character like Wolverine. And honestly, if I don't see without his healing factor how he could survive, because the excruciating pain of being scalded with melting hot adamantium would probably kill him in and of itself, but also adamantium's indestructible, so this thing covered him from head to toes, and he closed his eyes as he was dying. So yeah, either if he was still alive somehow, he'll suffocate because he's doused head to toes from adamantium. Or if he's somehow still alive, he'll starve to death because there's no way that they can crack the adamantium open. Maybe if they get Magneto, he could do something about that. But so far, it seems Wolverine is dead. They might work something out they can bring him back. But yeah, as of right now, the Marvel Universe officially has no Wolverine. So not the ending I would have preferred. But yeah, it is what it is. And Marvel released all these tie-in books. I didn't pick all of them. I only picked the one-shots. But I pick up Death of Wolverine, Deadpool, and Captain America. Old Captain America, because the super soldier serum has spent, apparently. So Steve Rogers has aged. So he's old, but his mind is still working. And he goes with Deadpool, because they discovered that there's this knife that was used to stab Logan, so it has his DNA, and they want to stop people from abusing Wolverine's legacy, like cloning him. or something like that. So Captain America and Deadpool go and retrieve the knife. But at the end of this issue, Deadpool has a flashback with a scientist friend he seems to have had, who invented this machine that would allow someone to be cloned very slowly, but someone to be cloned with just a DNA sample. So it's kind of hinted that Deadpool might do that he might use the blade to bring back Wolverine. Now, keep in mind that that's a clone. I don't see how that would really help, because he wouldn't have the memories or the soul of Wolverine. But they kind of hinted that that would be a means to bring back a Wolverine. But all in all, it was still a pretty good issue. I enjoyed this one. And the other one shot I picked up, tied into Death of Wolverine, is Life After Logan. This one, not so cool, honestly. I like the cover. The cover is pretty cool. Because you got Cyclops, Colossus, Nightcrawler, and Armor. They're reflecting on the death of Wolverine. And, yeah, it's 3 stories with each one. The Cyclops and the Colossus, Nightcrawler storyline pretty much end the same, where they all 3 go into a bar and they pick a fight, because that's what Logan used to do. So they're honoring his memory by doing that. And then Armor has a battle in the Danger Room with people like Sabretooth and so on. So, yeah, this I like the intent of the story, but the only one that I really enjoyed was the Cyclops one, because he does have a flashback of all his meetings with Wolverine and all his disagreements and his fall from grace and how, that affected him. So in that aspect, that was pretty cool. But yeah, there's a couple of other miniseries. There's the Legacy series, which focuses on one of the main characters in Wolverine's life, like Sabretooth, Mystique, X-23, Daken, and the issues are going to tie in. And that's going to lead to the next monthly series called Wolverines, which has Sabretooth, Daken, Lady Deathstrike, Mystique, and X-23 go after the remains of Wolverine, because I guess the inversion is still in effect, so the bad guys are good guys. I don't know, but they're gonna form a team, and they're gonna try to retrieve Wolverine's statue, adamantium statue. So, but I'm not gonna pick that up. That's ridiculous. But yeah, Wolverine's dead, so he dead, and it was disappointing. Picked up Wonder Woman 35, concluding the Azzarello story arc. Wonder Woman has her big fight with the Firstborn, and Zeus comes back. It's revealed who he was all this time. Wraps everything up in a nice little bow, and honestly, it does so pretty well. I really dig the Wonder Woman story arc that Azzarello did. He set up some really interesting things, things I'm hoping that they'll follow up later on. I was thinking of dropping Wonder Woman. I definitely am dropping Superman, Wonder Woman, and I was going to do the same with Wonder Woman, but I'm going to buy issue 36. I'm going to pick up the next issue just to give the new creative team a chance. If it follows through on everything that happened in this amazing story arc, I'm keeping Wonder Woman. If it differs too much, or it just completely retcons everything that happened in this amazing story arc, I'm dropping Wonder Woman. But honestly, this story arc itself was really cool. They introduced some really great characters. A lot of awesome things with the gods, like Poseidon and Zeus and Hades. So yeah, this was a great return to form for Wonder Woman. And I really like this whole story arc, and it's a shame to see them go, because again, really great. But we'll see what the future holds for Wonder Woman. But that was the last issue I picked up. Like always, I like to make my recommendations, and no real surprises here. I guess the only surprise is that they're all DC books. But I'm going to recommend Wonder Woman. Again, if you were following this, you need this one, because this is the end of this story arc. Swamp Thing is consistently good. Good writing, good artwork so far. just really dig Swamp Thing, and the main one is Batman. I've loved this creative team from issue 1 to current. Yeah, just it's so crazy good, and with the Joker back, it's even better. So I'm recommending all these 3 titles because they are great, especially this one. If you like the Joker and you want to see Superman battling Batman, pick this one up. This one is really cool. So yeah, that was the comic book pickup video, guys. Thanks so much for watching. And until I see you all again, this is Vargas XX78, thanking you and signing out.